So you might notice that my locale is a little different. I'm actually in a hotel right now. I'm traveling not to Philadelphia, heading up to Ohio. And you know what's funny is I'm going from Atlanta up to Ohio. So I'm crossing through 3 states, going from Georgia through Tennessee through Kentucky up to Ohio. And I decided to look, what would the time be if I did maybe want to pop over to Philadelphia for maybe one of the games while I'm up here in Ohio? Well, from Georgia to Ohio, at least where I was, Atlanta, which admittedly is the top part of Georgia, but it's about 6.5 hours. From where I am in Ohio, which is on the left side, all the way to the right side of Pennsylvania, where Philadelphia is, 11 hours. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it to these games. What's up, guys, and welcome to the Blues and Stripes. Today we'll be focusing on the Blues versus Flamengo, and I gotta admit I'm a little more excited for this one because I feel like this will be a bit more of a test. And I know that sounds weird. You would expect the easier games you'd be more excited for, but I always feel like anytime we face a team that is weaker or isn't going to give us as much of a challenge, it always feels like we drop our level and get down to theirs. I mean, you look at the LAFC match, realistically, with the talent we have, we should be blowing them off the pitch. But it was pretty close, and we didn't really get out of first gear, and so it stayed 1-0 for quite a while. And even though I was pretty comfortable, there still were a couple of chances they get when it's 1-0. Suddenly now we are looking possibly a 1-1 draw. But Flamengo is, I think, a bit better of a team. I wouldn't necessarily say they're top Premier League standard, but I would say they are maybe a little bit closer to the Premier League than LAFC is. So it'll be really interesting to see how we approach this match. But as far as what I would like to see from Maresca, I would like to see a little bit more of a change. I don't think we're going to get that. I think he's very stuck in his tactics. We saw that against LAFC. The way we started the match is very much the way he wants us to play. It's very possession-based. We're knocking it around in the back. We always look to go backwards if we're under pressure. And even though it's not fun to watch, it's what he wants to do. So it's what I'm kind of expecting out of this match, even if it's not what I want. But first, looking at the lineup, my expected lineup is going to be similar to what we saw against LAFC, but with some minor tweaks. Because I do think he will give some players a rest. But there are other players that I fully expect to continue to start. For instance, Sanchez will play. But then again, the goalkeeper is not really one to get rest, so I don't think that's going to be much of a surprise. In defense, I'm thinking Colwill and Cucurella probably keep their spots, because for Cucurella, obviously we don't have another option there. But for Colwill, I think he's going to start being the main focal point that Maresca is going to want to use going forward. And so I think he's going to play him as much as he possibly can. More than likely, he'll get a rest against the Tunisian side that we face after Flamengo. But I think in this one, he'll probably play since Flamengo are going to be a bit tougher. I also expect him to start alongside Chalobah in this one. I don't know much about Flamengo, but I'm guessing they probably don't have a big burly center forward that we have to have Tosin in there for. So I'd expect Trev to be in there to have a little bit more pace than Tosin does. On the right side, what I expect to see Malo Gusto because he is still managing James's minutes. I think we saw that with the fact that he came off at halftime against LAFC. I would like to see Achimpong. I think Achimpong deserves a chance. I think he's shown that he's not too far off the first team. He does need some more match minutes to get him to that level, but I do think this is a good tournament to give him that chance. And so looking at the game against Flamengo, they are going to be tough, but I don't think they're going to be top Premier League quality, so I don't think he's going to be out of his depth in this match. So like I said, Cucurella, Colwill, Chalobah, I all expect to start, and I would like them to start. I expect Gusto to start. I want Achimpong to start over him, though. Into the midfield, this one's a little bit more up in the air because Caicedo I would expect to start no matter what. But after he pulled up in the last match, I don't know exactly what happened. I think he might have rolled his ankle based on the reaction he had. So I don't know if Maresca is going to rest him in this one just to keep him safe and keep him uninjured. If he does, then it's really up in the air. I could see Asugo paired alongside Lavia or Fernandez, maybe even Santos in there. I don't know exactly what type of midfielder Santos is going to be yet, because right now it seems like Asugo and Caicedo are the two break up the play, win the ball back type of midfielders. Lavia and Fernandez are the more creative. Lavia more so on the ball in the midfield. Fernandez more so getting into the box and creating a chance. So I don't really know what to expect in the midfield. Preferably, I'd like to see Santos and Lavia. I do want to see Santos get his chance here. You know, we brought him back from loan. There's got to be a reason for that. And so I'd like to see what he's capable of, and this would be a good test for him. I think if you play him in the final match against the Tunisian side, I don't think you're really going to see what he's capable of, because I think they're going to be the weakest team that we face in the group. So preferably, I'd like to see him here and see how he measures up against pretty good competition. And Lavia, I think, played really well against LAFC, did a good job marshalling the midfield, getting on the ball, trying to make things happen in there. So I'd like to see a little bit more of that. And if you bring him off at halftime for Fernandez again, I don't see that much of an issue with that. Into the front four, I feel like it's going to be similar, but I think we might see Delap start this one over Jackson and kind of do the same thing where he comes off at about 60 for Jackson. I do still expect to see Neto and Madueke on the wings, though. I do think this is going to be Madueke's last chance, though, on the left wing. Outside of the fact that he's not normally playing over there, I think his performances just haven't been good enough. So while I expect to see him here for this match, if George comes on, does decently well, and then I'm assuming George will start against the Tunisian side if he plays well there too, I think we might see George take over that spot in the coming games. And the unfortunate thing is we really don't have much else outside of those two on the left wing. I know people have said Jackson can play over there, but I just don't think that's where Maresca wants him. Maresca wants him in the middle. That's where he plays well for this team. But as far as what I expect it to be a lot tighter than the LAFC match. I know that one was already kind of tight, but I think we'll probably play a little bit stronger than we did against LAFC because Flamengo are going to push us a lot more. I'm kind of thinking 2-1. Would not be surprised if maybe they catch us sleeping in the first half. Maybe within the first 15 minutes they get a goal, but then we start to come into the game a bit more. Maybe some of the subs at halftime give us some freshness in the second half, and then we'll see us really start to break out a little bit more. And then 2 goals in the second half win us the match. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. Well, I know not many people have found this channel yet. If you are here and you're keeping up with all the videos, I will say I might not be as consistent with uploads over the next couple weeks because I will be busy. I will definitely try to get reviews up for the next 2 matches. I don't know if I'll get a preview up for the match against the Tunisian side. I'll do my best to, though. I think the biggest thing is I would like to finish top of the group with all wins. You know, a draw here would not be too bad, but I would like to win all these matches and just make it comfortable. Obviously, more important than all of that is just keeping our players fit because we're going to need them going into next season. So no major injuries, no pulled hamstrings or anything that are going to keep them out through most of the preseason, which will make them unfit for August. But I still do think getting a win here is going to be good for us. And I think it'll help this side as well with some of these new additions coming in. I think the confidence will breed some cohesion amongst these players as well. But those are just my thoughts, so let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What do you want to see going into this match? What are you expecting? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe. Future Chelsea reviews, previews, and talks. And until next time, I hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you all later. Peace out.